Hey y'all, it's Farmer MeeMaw, and today I thought I would show you some of the ways that I organize my thoughts as I'm getting back into the swing of things, and I have things going on inside and things going on outside. You hear my quail? Think sometimes they think they're Bob White. You can almost hear them say Bob White, but anyway, they are Categorizing quail. So anyway, I thought I would share with you today the notebooks that I use and a new notebook that I'm really excited about with a very special use. Now, first of all, let me go through some of my basic notebooks. Now this started out as, it's just a composition notebook, and at first I called it my master to-do list, and I was just going to put all of those master to-dos in it, which is what I did in the beginning. This is my master project to-do list from 7/22/21, and so this is how it started. And then I fell off track, and I used it for different things over time, and end of summer project list, and this and that and the other thing project list. And obviously that was almost 2 years ago, and so I wanted to start over, but there's still there's this much book left. And I wanted kind of a refresh, and so what I did was, y'all, those birds, I'm sorry. I hope you like the sound of quail. So I got some washi tape, some wide washi tape, and I marked it off to almost create a new notebook cover inside the notebook. And around the edges, I used really wide, this is the width of the washi tape, but around the edges, to make it stand out, this is one page, this is the other page, I folded it over the page. So that's what I did. And then over here I kind of used words to color code, and so all of these are all the homestead and outdoor garden type related. These are all of those to-dos. And then as my mind is in that mindset, I will put down my other project. Motorcycles, y'all, they're out because it's a beautiful day. Oh, it's so beautiful. A little warm, but it's beautiful. Anyway, and so that's how I'm changing this notebook. It's still going to be my master to-do list, but now they're kind of categorized. The next one I want to show you is this is a planner that I bought when it was half over. It was a 1-year planner and it only had 6 months left, and so I got it for $2 at Walmart. But it really, I found some really good uses for different parts. This, I created a weekly schedule for getting healthy, and this is just health information. And the way I would work it out in my head, whether it's I'm tracking healthy habits, getting all my water in, what I'm going to do those days, how I'm going to eat, maybe what my menu plan is. And so using this as a template for a planner that I would do this way, or just to look back to design okay, what do I need to do today whenever I'm thinking about my day? Okay, I really want to focus on getting healthy, so this is what I'm going to do today. The next one actually was a weekly schedule for social media, back whenever I was still trying to do it consistently, which I'm doing again now. But it was just kind of a schedule. I'll save that one. And then I did a weekly schedule for a tidy, organized house and home. And it was all of those basic homemaking, whether it's when I buy groceries, when I clean, when I do laundry, things like that, so that I get an idea of how much this, because you guys, when you start really breaking down how long it takes to do everything, at least this has been the case for me, because I do a lot of stuff. I say I do. I plan to do. I want to do a lot of stuff, and it's an eye-opener whenever you put everything down on paper and you realize, honey, there's just not enough time in the day for you to realistically be able to do all of this stuff. And so it forces me to kind of pick and choose. And then I just did like a weekly schedule for a thriving homestead. Like, when am I going to move my chickens? When am I going to, feed my, like, I have a lot of other things that I'm wanting to do, which are in my master to-do list, but they need a schedule, like fermenting feed. When am I fermenting feed, or when am I starting sprouts? When am I, starting some kind of sourdough or ferment or whatever? And so that I used it to kind of block that stuff out, just as an idea for an ideal week or something that can be repeated. And I had something in, I don't have it with me, my old bullet journal. I had this weekly spread, and I called it Weekly Repeating Themes and Routines. And it was basically where I put everything together that was going to happen every week. Like every Tuesday, and sometimes it's usually like Tuesday and or Wednesday, I go grocery shopping. Like, if there's a good sale and I want to get what was on sale, like the last day of the sale is Tuesday and the first day of the next sale is Wednesday. If there's something that either I haven't gotten to go yet, or I want to go again to get more of that item that's on sale, I'll go Tuesday. And then if there's a good sale on Wednesday, then I'll go back Wednesday and stock up again, so that I get it taken care of, so that I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the week, unless I want to get more. If we've used up what I got, or I have a use or space for whatever. But anyway, in that spread, like my weekly repeating things and routines, I would put like those routines where you either do some things you do every day, some things you may do twice a week, or like food prep, meal prep, like keto prep. Some things don't last for 7 days, and so you may do it on Sunday and then Wednesday. And then for me, when I was trying to get my YouTube channel organized in my head, I would write down what days I would do themes. If y'all remember, if y'all have been here that long, early on in my YouTube channel, in order to kind of give me focus, I had themes. Like, I had Fitness Friday, I had I think it was Quick Tip Tuesday. Was at one point, there might have been something else, but there was Mason Jar Monday, Waste Not Wednesday. So I had these themes, and one of them was like a swing time Saturday or swing time Sunday, where I'd sit in my little swing and chat. So I had these themes that kind of narrowed my focus. And then after, when I got away from those, my focus was just like everywhere, because that's what my brain does. But anyway, and so I was trying to bring it back down to have themes, like a motivational Monday, or whatever, And so I had those all written down on my in my repeating themes. That was the theme part of themes and routines. And so I have one of those. And then, let's see here, things I need a planner for. Y'all, have a list of things I need a planner for. And these are some things that you may think about if you have a planner, or even these are things you don't necessarily need a planner, just a notebook. Things that I need to keep up with. And things that I don't have a planner for specifically, but it's because of my personal life situation, I don't need necessarily, like a budget or income thing. And that's because my husband handles all that stuff, because he works and I don't, and so he just takes care of all that. And then memory keeping, it's not that I don't need memory keeping, it's just not one of those things, it's not my strong suit. I take a lot of pictures, and I have all those pictures saved everywhere. But anyway, and so you may need a planner for health and wellness if you're wanting to get healthy and you're losing weight and tracking your eating and things like that. For animals and gardening, whether it's if you're hatching eggs or breeding or feeding and you're needing to figure out the costs and all of that sort of stuff, you may need a planner or a calendar, at least a calendar, to track that sort of stuff, so that you know when you put the eggs in the incubator, so you know when to put them on lockdown, things like that. If if you're a content creator, a content calendar. And that is so important. And I am yet to master a content calendar. But that's one of those things that I need to get better at documenting and tracking and really putting on my calendar, or a calendar. And then you have a cleaning calendar, organizing, homemaking type calendar. And that could just be, you know, the way you keep a tidy house and organize. Again, outside my wheelhouse. I do things as they need to be done. If I'm out of underwear, it's time to do clothes. Or if I'm just out of clothes that are decent to wear out in public, then I need to do laundry. And then personal development. And for me, it was a schedule for working on some intellectual property that I'm working on, and merchandise and things like that. I need time to actually sit down and work on that sort of stuff. And obviously another planner for like a faith planner, and not even necessarily planning, but a journal, a faith journal. And this could be in the form of a war binder. If you've ever heard of the movie War Room, and this woman had a closet that she turned into a prayer closet, like where she would go to pray. Ooh, there's a red wasp. Anyway, and some people have a war binder, which is like a notebook where they write their prayers, they write scripture, they write their Bible study stuff. And so just a faith journal is another thing that is really helpful and handy to have. So anyway, I also used the calendar part, the calendar spread, writing in like goal planning pages. And I was kind of creating my own goal plan, which is in another book, a goal planner, and all the things that I needed to plan out and break down. And y'all, you can tell whenever I haven't been taking my supplements that I had a video about the other day. If you didn't see it, I'll put a link below to that video, and how it really affects the clarity of my thinking. And when I cannot get anything done, but whenever I take those supplements, it's like my brain starts working again, and I can really kind of focus and think straight and have more clarity. And so anyway, so in my goal planning, I was creating my own goal planner so that I would have a place to kind of write down what my goals are, so that I can keep those in the forefront of my mind and then work towards them. Because if you lose vision, you know, even in the Bible it says, without vision people perish. And so it's just if you have a plan, if you have a vision of something, if you can kind of use, like if you have an old calendar that you're not using and you don't want to throw away, you want it to go to use, perfectly good calendar, use your spread. You can break down any kind of project. Maybe you have a gardening project, and it's not necessarily something that you're wanting to go step by or day by day by day, but maybe it's just step by step by step. Maybe you're wanting to start a business. Maybe you're wanting to start a YouTube channel. Maybe you're wanting to grow a garden, and there are steps and things that you want, or start a homestead. Maybe there are steps and things that you want to do to achieve that goal. So you can put down all of those steps in a step or a project in each of those squares, and as you do those projects, you're able to mark those off so you can visually see the progress that you're making. And so anyway, and then I just did one where all I did was write down all of my routines in one place, like your morning routine, your evening routine. You may have a supper time routine. You may have a routine kind of thing that you do when you're getting ready to go on vacation. Did I say cleaning routine? You may have a cleaning routine, a self-care routine. Some people, y'all, have planner routines. Like they have a routine for working in their planners. So anyway, so those are just some things. And then other things that I did was I broke it down. I used the monthly pages, monthly spread, and I broke it down into like going back to those routines and using each day like this would be a whole day instead of a month. This would be a day, and over here I'd have, okay, this is my faith or faith and morning routine, or maybe my health, and this is all of that stuff that I need to do on certain days or every day, every Monday. Here's the homemaking and cleaning and organizing. This is what I need to do every day. Homesteading, this is the thing I need to do every day. And so, like, this would be like a whole day, but it's broken down into chunks so that it is easier to time block. And so if you want to do all of your outside chores early in the morning before it gets hot, and that might be the thing that you do first in the morning, and then maybe in the winter time, maybe you want to do it later in the day after it's warmed up a little bit. And so then you do a different routine in the morning, and then your homestead type outdoor routine comes later in the day or later in the morning. And so anyway, so these are just some of the ways that I use this one now. But I will tell you one of the weird things, like, and it just is the way my brain works. Like, here's this is one of my homesteady project things. Like, these are all the things that I need to do to get my homestead up and running, moving forward, the way I want it to. But something else that I did here recently, I had a lot of stuff to do. I had a lot of food that I needed to get cooked, and it was overwhelming at how much stuff I needed to do. And so what I did, and I can't find it, what I did was I brain dumped everything, all the foods that I had, all the foods I needed to cook, and I just brain dumped it. And then I made a list, and I didn't even use it for the days that it was. Although I started out on a Wednesday, and I just said brain dump for Thursday, like all the things I needed to do, because you know how we think we can do a lot more than we really can. I brain dumped all of this, and then I was like, okay, well, I need to do this stuff too. And then what I realized was there is no way. It took me, I think 3 days, maybe more, to actually get all this stuff done. And so, and then on Thursday, I wrote down like things I have, but instead of just using it, I almost used it first as a brain dump and a to-do list. And I gave myself permission to work on it until it was done, instead of going, okay, I need to do all of this today, and oh well, I only got 3 things done, so now I'm a failure. Because the first day, whenever I start doing this, the first thing I always do is I hyper focus on cleaning the kitchen. Like, if I'm going to work in the kitchen and I've got a lot of kitchen, I want to go in there and I just want to start. But what ends up happening is, like, I've got to clean my kitchen first. And so I'll spend a chunk of my day cleaning the kitchen, thoroughly, and then I get started. And so I just kept working and working until everything was done. And again, that took like 3 days. And then I could rest and I could move on to like yard projects. It was like, this was kind of my hyper focus at the time. And then I have to like hyper focus on yard work and all that stuff. All the kitchen stuff gets neglected again, and I run out of clothes and all that, because my next hyper focus is working outside. So anyway, so that is how I use an old planner. Okay, now let me tell you kind of a twist on that, what I do in my new planner, what I do that I really like. And so this is kind of my layout for it. And it's a horizontal, but is this a happy planner? I got it at whatchamacallit, so it might be, I have no idea. Maybe it's not, because I don't see happy planner on it anywhere. So no, it's Agenda 52. Yeah, I got it from, it's not Home Depot, y'all. It's that other place where I spend a lot of money, Hobby Lobby. But anyway, it's a horizontal layout. And so what I do is, just to kind of give you an example, whenever at the beginning of the week, on this side, see how it has like this horizontal place to write in, and then it has all of these boxes like to write your to-do list. Well, you're supposed to do it, I guess, for each day, but what I do is using colors that I associate with the things that I'm doing, like all of the kind of categories of my life, whether it's homemaking or working outside, or what else do I have? YouTube-y stuff, health-related stuff, homemaking stuff, shopping, and all that. So what I do is I make my list that I need to do for the whole week. And that, some of this never, you see none of it, some of it never got ticked off. But I have my list over here. And then, but this list is for the whole week. And so on Monday, like I don't even know what days I did everything. I just know that it got done, okay? But there are, whenever I write stuff in here, it kind of lets me know, where did my time go? Why didn't I get anything done? And like, you know, one day I kept the girls while my daughter went and prepared for an interview. And then the next day I kept the girls while my daughter went to the interview, and then had to do some other things afterwards. And so, and then I shot all these YouTube videos that I'm making. One day I shot 3 videos. I posted 2 of them, and not the 3rd yet. But anyway, and so it's one of those things that I really like the way it works for my brain, because like I done on this spread, but it's just a little more tidy. I can do on this one. And so again, like next week, I don't have it ready yet, but whatever my plans are for next week, you know, broken down by color into categories, you know, all the things that I want to accomplish, and then I just mark them off as I get them done, and just take notes, write notes, or any kind of appointments or anything like that that I have, go ahead and fill out in this part. So that is how I use this planner. It's Agenda 52 from Hobby Lobby. Okay, so the next planner, well, let me do this. A recent idea that I got from watching some channels on YouTube, and they were talking about, I don't remember what it's called, but it was something like 10 4-hour blocks, and you basically have 10 topics or projects that you want to work on during the day, and you give each one of those projects a total of 4 hours to work on them. And so it lets you track your time. You know, I thought that was a fabulous idea. But if you can tell, and like you block it off into 15-minute blocks. Every time you do something in that area for 15 minutes, you tick a box. And if you can see, I don't know how well you can see this, I ticked nothing. So fabulous in theory, did not work for me. It's just not practical. And so anyway, and so I got a package of these. It's like a day spread with a little grid on back, and got that, and just haven't used them. It's just not my thing. Okay, so anyway, so the thing that I talked about at the beginning, and I said I am getting ready to start a new book, or a new type of notebook, and I'm really excited about it. And that is a commonplace journal or notebook. Have you ever heard of a commonplace book? It's basically a notebook. Been around for centuries, millennia? Anyway, been around forever. Not forever, but a very long time. And originally they were little notebooks that people carried around with themselves whenever they learned something new or had a new idea. They'd write it down. And there is something I deep dived into recently called creating a second brain, and I was like, hallelujah, I need that. And from doing research on it and how to do it, it's basically a digital version of a commonplace notebook or a commonplace book, because it's where you just compile all of your resources, quotes from books, things like that, but you store it in something like Notion or Evernote, and you can store it in Trello as well. But it's just like an online version where you compile all of this cool little information, all of this wisdom that you come upon online. And so you just make note of it. And then it comes in really handy if you're wanting to do a project whether it could be working on a kitchen renovation, or growing a garden, or moving to another town, whatever it is. There's just limitless possibilities that just whatever you need to collect information on to meet your need, maybe it's about a health situation you're in, maybe it's about a certain disease or something like that, and you can compile all of this information and then keep it in one place digitally, and it's called a second brain. And there are lots of videos on how to do it. I cannot tell you how to do it because I've not done it. I could tell you what other people say how to do, but not very well, because I haven't gone through the actual steps myself. You could make it as simple or as incredibly complicated as you want, but I much more liked the appeal of pen to paper. And so I want to tell you kind of my thoughts on this, because I have 2 notebooks and I want your input, because I haven't been able to make a final decision on what I'm going to use for my commonplace book. I have 2 main choices right now, and one of them is this. It's disc bound that I got from Five Below, so it's $5, and it's not as thick as it looks because I have those day spread things. I have those in here. But this has like 5 sections. The ones like this, that you can, like this in a binder, one of the real advantages that they have is that you can rearrange. You can write this and you can put it somewhere else if you want to. Because I would like to be able to do this in a way that I can categorize the my topics that I write about. Like, some of them may be health related, some of them may be YouTube related, some may be food related, some may be homestead related, or homemaking or homeschooling related, and some of them just may be just wisdom, thoughts, ahas, revelations, faith, all of those things could be kind of categorized. And so if I put them in something like this, because it's a great big notebook, it can hold a lot of information, and I could keep it forever, and probably it would take years to fill up, which I like the idea of that. And to kind of categorize, y'all know I'm a huge proponent of colored pens. And so to categorize, I could just use a certain color pen. Like, all of my homesteading stuff is going to be in green. All of my YouTube stuff would be in red. All of my homemaking stuff would be in purple. All of my, what have I not got? I said homemaking. Health. Have I said health yet? No. Health would be in pink. And so I could do it in that way, so that whenever I'm scrolling through and I'm looking for something, what was that thing I needed to remember about, monetization on YouTube or whatever, I could go and just look through all of the red notes. And so they would be easier to find, but they wouldn't all be together. So there's that option. And then there is this option, which I have 2 of these notebooks, and the other one I don't really use more than one section, like how they have dividers. And so I could add those dividers and more paper to this. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now, is I can't decide, because part of me would really like it like in this notebook. I think this would be a really good use for this. But I also like the idea of being able to categorize, and put things together in one area of the binder. So anyway, I'm really excited about that. Please tell me, have you ever used a commonplace journal or commonplace book? Have you ever heard of it? Like, I've just recently heard of it, and obviously it's been around, for thousands of years, and I've just never heard of it. But there are lots of, if you go looking on YouTube, there are lots of videos about other people And a lot of people there are very different ideas about the commonplace planner as far as what it is and how to use it. And so, some things you may not be interested in, but there may be somebody that uses it in a different, unique way that really makes sense to you and you would find useful. For me, I like pen and paper much more than I like digital. And I love the idea of being able to keep track of all of those little nuggets of information that I learn. Like, I listen to podcasts all the time. I love audiobooks, YouTube videos. I research stuff all the time, y'all. Y'all know me. I do a lot of health research. I do a lot of food research, and to be able to have a notebook. But see, and the thing is, a lot of that stuff, I have notebooks by themselves, just like a composition notebook or a regular, notebook, cheap notebook that you get when school starts, and they're all like 25 cents. They used to be like 10 cents. Now I think they're like 35 cents. Anyway, so I have some of those that like all my YouTube stuff is in one notebook, and all of my, but the idea of having it all in one place so that I don't have to go find that notebook, that, if you know, you know. And so, what do you think I should do? Do you think I should keep them separated like this? Or should I color code them and keep them? And I could separate them somewhat. Like, I could make tabs. And, like whenever I write something, I can skip, 5 or 10 pages before I start another, if I have another topic come up, I'll skip, 10 pages and then start the new topic so that topic I can just continue on the next several pages. I mean, that's an option too. So anyway, there's just so many options, y'all, and that is where I don't have a very easy time making decisions when there's just too many options. So anyway, I know this is a really long video, and I'm sorry. I just wanted to share with you kind of how I am organizing my brain, my thoughts, my plans, and just kind of trying to get everything in one place. I say get everything in one place, y'all, and I got this. So anyway, I love you guys. And if you don't mind, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me out because I'm trying to get my channel kind of back online again. And YouTube wants to know that people are actually watching the videos and, find them useful. So if you did, please give it a thumbs up and maybe even share it. If you know someone who, is just needing to kind of get their thoughts organized or their life organized, send them to this video. I'd really appreciate it. Bye, y'all.